Welcome to the Great Bay Scallop Search. My name is Peter Clark and I'm the president of Tampa Bay Watch. Tampa Bay Watch has been around for 27 years. We are primarily focused on organizing community volunteers to do habitat restoration and water quality improvement projects. The Great Bay Scallop Search is one of our most popular events that we organize each and every year. It's a great opportunity for the community and individuals and their families to come down and snorkel through the lower part of Tampa Bay, through the seagrass beds, in order to document the scallops that we have out there. Now, scallops are very, very sensitive to water quality. They're kind of like the miner's canary. In around 1960, water quality deteriorated to such levels that they blinked out of existence in Tampa Bay. And it was only until the 1990s that water quality started to improve enough where scallops have been able to survive in the bay system. And that's why we've been organizing the Great Bay Scallop Search. It's a great opportunity for people to help provide the science to the restoration agencies that are looking at water quality improvements and habitats returning to the bay like seagrass beds by documenting the number of scallops that are out there. So we hope that you'll be able to come out and participate in the Great Bay Scallop Search this year and be able to swim through the seagrass beds that are so critical to the health and the recovery of the Tampa Bay estuary, and help to look for those Easter eggs, those scallops that are out there, and help to provide the science that we need to better manage the Tampa Bay estuary. So on behalf of the Tampa Bay Watch program, we thank you for your help and support.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the DIY Great Bay Scallop Search 2020. My name is Eric Plage. I am an environmental specialist with Tampa Bay Watch, and I thank you all for participating in this great event. This year we're doing a little different than we've normally done in the past. We usually assemble at the Fort DeSoto boat ramp, but this year we're hoping that you all can handle the scallop search on your own with the help of our helpful video that we'll be putting together here, as well as the materials we'll be providing you with. By now, hopefully you've stopped by Tampa Bay Watch to pick up the equipment that you will need for this 2020 Great Bay Scallop Search. That equipment will include 2 1-meter PVC poles to swim down your transect line with, 1 2-meter PVC pole to gauge your depth, as well as your transect line bucket that will hold your 50-meter transect line that has a weighted line as well as 2 buoys on the end, and that's what you will be actually swimming down to monitor the scallop population in your area. It's important when approaching your scallop search site that you do not run the boat over the area in which you would like to survey for scallops. Please stop the boat just before it. Then, using your depth, 2-meter depth PVC, make sure that it is between 1/2 meter and 2 meters of depth, the area that you are scalloping, so it is not too shallow or not too deep. And make sure that there is seagrass present in the area that you are trying to do so. From there, you'll take your bucket out, start to unravel it in your 50-meter transect, making sure that it is not tangled as you do so. Some of these were put away a little tangled last year, so be aware of that. And then finally, you will take the 50 meters and stretch it out to create your transect. So it's important that once you've reached your transect site, that once you've deployed your actual 50-meter transect, you want to actually step over, to have your second diver on the far end step over a few feet with you, maybe 5 to 10 feet. That way, that whole area that you've disturbed walking that line out is no longer where you're going to be monitoring, because most likely what has happened is all those scallops have actually been flushed away. Yes, they do move, flushed away as you've walked that line out. And again, make sure that this is in seagrass and between that 1/2 meter and 2-meter pole. So once your transect has been deployed and moved over out of the way of where you've walked, the diver who has stretched the line out and the diver who is standing on this end will start on opposite sides of the line, moving towards each other with that 1-meter PVC, counting every scallop they see from 1 meter out of the transect line.
You will use the 1-meter PVC pipe as a guide to help you determine the width of your transect that you're monitoring. Count the number of scallops you see and note the abundance of seagrasses.
So these are what we are looking for. This is our bay scallop. We are counting these again. We are not collecting these bay scallops. I know how much you guys would love to make these into some sort of Italian pasta dish, but we are putting these scallops back. In fact, we probably shouldn't even be picking them up. Just leave them where they lay.
So for the scallop search, we will be recording our data on the ArcGIS Survey 123 platform, and I am going to walk you through the steps now. So when you click on the link that we provide, you will see a form very similar to this. Go ahead and type in the date. Click on the box once, and it will give you a calendar, and you can select the date to make it a little bit easier. You are going to write the first and last name of your boat captain, as well as a phone number. Please read through the entire liability statement, and your boat captain will sign his or her signature at the bottom. For number of participants, you will include everybody who is participating in the scallop search with you on that day, not including the captain. Every participant will need to read the liability waiver, write their full name, and then sign their signature. For your first site, for your first transect, you will put the time that you started and arrived at your site. There are 3 bay segments that we will be monitoring for the scallop search: Boca Ciega Bay, Lower Tampa Bay, and Middle Tampa Bay. Most of you only have 1 bay segment and 1 map, but some of you may have multiple maps, so just make sure you're looking very closely at the top of the maps so you know the correct bay segment. Go ahead and put your site number, which is the number you were given that's associated with that area. For your GPS location, Survey 123 allows you to ping your location simply by clicking on the map. So you can click on the map and it should show you the location that you're at, or at least very close by. Do make sure that you double check that your location ping is accurate and say yes or no. If it is not accurate, and you can tell it is not accurate from the map, you will need to manually put in your latitude and longitude, which I will show you how to do momentarily. Let's assume it's correct, and we will move on to water depth. You will need to estimate your water depth using your 2-meter PVC pole. You will need the water depth before you start your transect and when you're finished with your transect. Please round to the nearest 10th place. Scallop count, very simple, just put the amount of live scallops that you found. For vegetation type, we're asking you to record which seagrasses you see at your site. You are going to estimate the percentage of seagrass that takes up your transect. This diagram shows the 3 most common species of seagrass found in Tampa Bay: turtle grass, manatee grass, and shoal grass. We have provided you a link to a video created by the Tampa Bay Estuary Program. Please watch this video ahead of doing the scallop search to assist you with identifying seagrass in the field. If you do see any other species of seagrass that's not listed here, please note that in the comment box below, as well as anything significant or unusual observed at the site. This question just asks you what site and transect you're going to next. Each group is required to do 2 transects at 2 different sites, but if you have time, we encourage you to do 3 transects at each site. After your first transect, you can no longer ping your GPS location. You'll need to manually enter your coordinates using a GPS device or the GPS feature on your cell phone or tablet. To find your coordinates on Google Maps, open up the application. You should see a blue dot that indicates your position. If you don't see a blue dot, you may have to adjust the settings on your phone. Zoom into the blue dot and press your finger down as close to that blue dot as you can without actually selecting it. You should now see coordinates up at the top, which you can log into the survey. The latitude is always the first number listed, followed by the longitude. And that is the only thing different for the rest of the transects and sites.
When placing your materials back in the bucket, be sure you place in the weight first, then the buoy, and then slowly coil your rope back into the bucket to avoid tangles for future participants. Guys, thank you so much for helping us with the 2020 Great Bay Scallop Search this year. I'm hopeful that we found a lot of scallops, and remember to help save the bay, deck.